If you're a devoted viewer of Live with Kelly and Mark, the sight can be jarring. The vibrant, sun-drenched set is the same. The audience is just as energetic. But there's only one throne at the center desk. Kelly Ripa, effervescent and sharp as ever, holds court alone. The immediate, visceral reaction for many fans, often playing out in real time on social media, is a digital gasp. Where's Mark? Is everything okay? Kelly looks so lonely. Followed by the inevitable, slightly panicked headline, Kelly Ripa hosted alone. Where is Mark Consuelos? This phenomenon is more than just a blip in a morning show's schedule. It's a fascinating lens through which to view modern fandom, the evolution of a television institution, and one of the most unique and enduring partnerships in entertainment. The absence of one co-host, particularly Mark Consuelos, doesn't just create an empty chair. It opens a vacuum filled with speculation, concern, and a renewed appreciation for the intricate dance the couple performs daily. So, where is Mark Consuelos? The answer is usually quite simple. He's working. He's on a brief vacation. He's tending to a family matter. But the question itself is a testament to the powerful brand they have built together. To understand why his absence resonates so deeply, we must journey back through the history of the show, the trajectory of their legendary romance, and the very specific alchemy they create when they are together. To fully grasp the significance of Kelly hosting alone today, we must first rewind to the era when it was the norm. Kelly Ripa didn't just appear on television one day with Mark Consuelos by her side. Her journey to becoming the matriarch of morning television was paved with years of flying solo and navigating a series of guest co-hosts after the departure of a legend. When Kelly Ripa joined Live with Regis and Kelly in 2001, she was already a known quantity from her role as Haley Vaughn on All My Children, but she was stepping into a colossal shadow. Regis Philbin was a broadcasting titan, a beloved curmudgeon whose chemistry with his previous co-host Kathy Lee Gifford was the stuff of television history. The pressure was immense. Could this young soap actress hold her own against Reg? Not only did she hold her own, but she also carved out an entirely new dynamic. Where Kathy Lee and Regis often felt like a bickering but loving old married couple, Kelly and Regis evolved into a charming father-daughter rapport. Kelly was the witty, sometimes exasperated, always energetic foil to Regis's grumpy old man shtick. She mastered the art of the playful eye roll, the self-deprecating story about her home life with her husband, Mark, and her young children. It was during these years that the audience was first introduced to Mark Consuelos, not just as an actor, but as Kelly's husband, a character in the hilarious anecdotes of their domestic life. When Regis Philbin officially retired in November 2011, the show was thrown into a state of flux. The throne was empty. And for the first time, Kelly Ripa was left to host completely alone, a situation that would become a defining chapter in her career. What followed Regis's departure was a multi-year, high-profile audition process. The show was retitled Live with Kelly, and a rotating carousel of celebrities, actors, comedians, and network personalities sat in the guest chair. This period was both exhilarating and exhausting for Kelly and the audience. Viewers got to see her chemistry with a diverse range of personalities, from Neil Patrick Harris and Josh Groban to Jerry O'Connell and Anderson Cooper. However, this era also highlighted the immense burden on Kelly's shoulders. She was the constant, the captain steadying the ship through every new first mate. She had to be on for every single guest, establishing rapport, guiding the conversation, and carrying the structure of the show, all while the specter of a permanent replacement loomed. It was during this time that Kelly's resilience, professionalism, and sharp comic timing became undeniable. She wasn't just Regis's sidekick anymore. She was the engine of the show. This period also culminated in a now legendary moment of network tension. In 2012, without her knowledge, the network announced Michael Strahan as her permanent co-host. The public way in which this was handled led to Kelly famously taking a day off in protest, a move that galvanized public support for her and highlighted the lack of respect often afforded to women in television.
She returned empowered, having negotiated a new level of creative control and a more prominent role for her production company. This battle cemented her status not just as a talent, but as a powerful force in the industry. The Michael Strahan era had its own successful dynamic, a playful, sibling-like rivalry, but it ended abruptly when Strahan was poached for Good Morning America. Once again, Kelly was left to host alone, and the guest co-host carousel began anew. But this time, a familiar face was appearing in that chair with increasing frequency, and the audience's response was overwhelmingly clear. The solution to the co-host question had been hiding in plain sight for over 20 years. Mark Consuelos had been a frequent and beloved guest co-host for years. Every time he appeared, the ratings spiked, and social media would light up with comments like, "He should be the permanent co-host." The chemistry was not something that needed to be manufactured. It was palpable, authentic, and already the foundation of the show's most beloved segments, the stories about their marriage. The magic of Live with Kelly and Mark isn't just that they are a married couple, it's that they are a married couple who have retained a palpable sense of romance, attraction, and playful antagonism. Their dynamic is a masterclass in long-term relationship chemistry, and it translates perfectly to morning television. Even after nearly 3 decades of marriage and 3 children, the flirtation between Kelly and Mark is ever present. It's in the way Kelly looks at Mark when he's telling a story, with a mixture of admiration and amusement. It's in Mark's seemingly genuine awe of his wife's energy and intelligence. This isn't performative, staged romance. It feels organic, a glimpse into a partnership that is still very much alive with passion. For all the romance, they're also completely comfortable bickering like they've been trapped in a car on a long road trip. They playfully argue about who is a heavier sleeper, who is more forgetful, whose family is more eccentric. This bickering is never mean-spirited, it's familiar. It's the language of a shared life. Audiences relate to it because it mirrors their own relationships. Their entire life is fodder for the show, from Mark sleepwalking and attempting to make a smoothie to their debates about home decor and their children's exploits. Their marriage is the show's primary source material. This creates a powerful parasocial relationship with the audience. Viewers feel like they are checking in with old friends, getting an update on the ongoing sitcom of their lives. Mark is the calm to Kelly's storm. Kelly is all buzzing energy, rapid-fire jokes, and theatrical expressions. Mark is more laid back, with a dry, deadpan delivery that often lands even harder because of its contrast to Kelly's style. He is the straight man, but one with a wicked, sly smile that suggests he's in on the joke and might be its master architect. When Mark officially became the permanent co-host in 2023, it felt less like a new hire and more like a homecoming. The show had finally, fully embraced its own heart. The title Live with Kelly and Mark was no longer just a branding exercise, it was a promise of the specific, authentic dynamic viewers could expect every morning. This brings us back to the central event, Kelly hosting alone. In the context of the Kelly and Mark brand, his absence is profoundly noticeable. It's not the same as the solo hosting during the guest co-host era. Then, the empty chair was a question mark. Now, the empty chair has a name, a personality, and a very specific energy that is missing. The reaction on platforms like X, formerly Twitter, and Instagram is immediate and telling. The comments are a mix of, "Hope Mark is okay," "Sending love to the family." This reflects the deep parasocial bond viewers feel. They aren't just fans of a show, they feel invested in the well-being of this couple they've invited into their homes for years. The show isn't the same without Mark. I miss their banter. This acknowledges the specific chemistry that is the show's main draw. It's like tuning into a famous duet and only hearing one singer. Kelly holding it down, queen of daytime. This thread celebrates Kelly's indomitable spirit and her ability to command the stage entirely on her own, a skill honed over decades. When Mark is away, Kelly's hosting style undergoes a subtle but significant shift. She becomes both captain and crew. Her energy, always high, often seems to ramp up even further to fill the space. She leans more heavily on the announcer, band, and audience for interaction. The segments might run a little longer. The monologues become more elaborate. There's also a different kind of intimacy. Without her built-in comedic partner, Kelly often shares stories that are more personal or reflective. She might talk about her kids in a different way, or discuss the challenges of a long-term marriage with a rawness that is sometimes smoothed over by Mark's presence and their usual comedic back and forth. It's a unique opportunity to see Kelly Ripa, the individual, separate from the entity of Kelly and Mark. Furthermore, she often uses the time to address the elephant in the room with her signature humor. She'll make jokes about Mark being on a spa vacation while she's working, or she'll dramatically sigh and look at his